Right now, hear from a local family on why the opening of a new Jewish community center on Madison's Monroe Street is a dream come true. Also, an update from the Mifflin Street block party from MPD. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, things could look a lot different in 24 hours.
That's right. We still are underneath that enhanced or moderate risk for Monday, especially Monday evening into early Tuesday. So we're still going to keep that alert day threat out there. We could see widespread severe weather, or it could pan out where we get one or two severe thunderstorms. I'll talk about more or less the atmospheric setup, what's working for us and against us when it comes to that severe weather chance later on in this half hour. But there is a look at our severe weather threat as of now. The enhanced risk, 3 out of 5 is in the orange. The 4 out of 5, the moderate risk, is there in the red. When looking at the tornado threat especially, that's a hatched risk. So those black lines mean that within those black lined areas, there's an even greater confidence that we could see a higher end tornado or two. So we're going to treat this as though we are going to see severe weather Monday evening, overnight into Tuesday. As I mentioned, I'll dive more into the setup and what's working for and against severe weather chances later on in this half hour. Tonight, we'll sit underneath partly cloudy, turning mostly cloudy, maybe some showers or two, mainly after midnight along the Mississippi River into the mid-morning hours on Monday. Some of those storms may produce some heavy rain, some strong wind gusts at times, maybe some small hail as well. But again, our main threat and our main concern is Monday evening. So Jalen, I'll talk about that coming up later on in this half hour.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a bit. Part of Monroe Street was blocked off this afternoon to welcome a new Jewish community center and its grand opening. Our Meryl Hubbard shows us the ribbon cutting for Chabad Madison.
Here on Monroe Street, a new Jewish community center, Chabad of Madison, is officially open. Seeing this building come to life is a dream come true for the Matasov family. The cut of the ribbon marks a new beginning for Chabad of Madison.
It's overwhelmingly joyful to see so many people here today.
The grand opening welcomed community members, students, and leaders to celebrate the new center, one that will give Chabad space to expand its Hebrew school and programs for the Jewish community.
We're always finding ways, innovative ways of making Jewish heritage accessible to all the Jewish people in town, and that they should be proud and be able to celebrate without any inhibitions, without being held back.
Rabbi Avramo Matasov says his father bought the first Chabad on Regent Street in 1986. Eventually, they grew out of the space and broke ground on Monroe Street 2 years ago.
The opportunity arose for me to be able to continue with that message from the Rebbe of spreading the light and bringing a candle to all places of the world and helping make Judaism accessible and the heritage accessible to all Jews. That's always been my dream.
Rabbi Avramo spearheaded this project, but he says it took a village to make it possible.
And to see it here, that we can actually celebrate in this space, is just so amazing.
He says the Jewish community in Madison is only growing, and now with the new building, they have more space to continue serving them.
I think it's critical for people to have a place that they can consider home, a place to celebrate together.
It's a new chapter for Chabad of Madison, and community members say the grand opening is a sign of strong neighborhood support.
It shows how much our neighborhood supports us, because so many people here today are from the Monroe Street area and from around Madison and may not even be Jewish, but they know that we're better when we all stand together.
Reporting in Madison, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Meryl, thank you. Well, it wasn't a celebration for everyone at the Mifflin Street block party in downtown Madison Saturday afternoon. The Madison Police Department reported as of 7 p.m. Saturday evening, 42 people were arrested. Police say most were cited and released for alcohol-related offenses. Police have indicated that additional information regarding any further arrest will be made available next week. More than 150 officers worked the event and minimal property damage was reported. This afternoon at the River Arts Center in Prairie du Sac, the Madison Dance Center put on a spring concert which showcased the talents of some of their nearly 150 students of varying ages. Photojournalist Gabe Litzkow got a chance to speak to some of the students about what it is and how much they love their dance community.
I started dancing when I was around 2 years old.
I started dancing here when I was 3.
I was maybe 12.
I think he started dancing first.
Our mom put us in dance classes because, like, we were dancing a lot at home.
Played basketball in middle school and I kind of hated it. And then when I like explored YouTube, like dance creators, especially Matt Stefanina, he's like kind of a popular choreographer. I would look up his dance videos and kind of learn them. And then my mom was like, let's put you in a studio. So then she just put me in a studio and here we are.
I still remember it. First day I was there, we were doing auditions and I started crying because I was really nervous and I was like 10. And Elizabeth Newberry, who's now a teacher here, she just like came in, gave me a hug, and like that's like one of the core memories I have from MPDC, and I feel like that just like really explains MPDC as a whole. It's just like people there are just willing to do that for people they don't know.
I think that it's just like the family that like we've created here. I think it's such a family dynamic, and everything about it just gives like friends, family, and it's just somewhere where I can be myself and know that like if I have a problem I can come to them and just like release it all with like the art that they give. I teach some littles. I teach like ages like 3 to 6, and it's just like really crazy to see. Like at one point I was there, and I think just seeing them grow and like find a love for dance is so amazing, and it just kind of shows me like what other people saw in me too. Like the fact that like I am gonna continue to be here, and like this is probably what I'm gonna do through school, through life. And so just seeing like them start little is just so rewarding. It's the best thing.
The thing that I try to focus on most is throughout whatever style I'm doing is to always tell a story. I pick songs that truly mean something to me. Like my solo this year is all about living every day to the fullest potential and to never waste a single moment.
Dance is important because you can like have fun with your team.
Because you can embrace your emotions. It's kind of like embracing your emotions, but silently.
I feel like I found myself through dance, and like I wouldn't be who I am today without dance, and it's just a way of expression, and I just love doing it.
I think overall it's important to me because it's taught me so many life lessons that like I think that I wouldn't get if I didn't dance. It just, every single person here, everybody around me is just so hardworking, has goals, and it just like pushes me to be a better person and have goals and be hardworking and time management and just like everything that you'd have to learn on your own. But because I dance here especially, I just get it from all the people around me, which I think is so important.
I just truly focus on working every day towards becoming a better dancer, becoming a better human, and I try to show that through my dance. I feel like I was just born to dance. Like it's always just been there in my heart. It makes me feel so happy, and even when I'm at my most vulnerable, I know that dance will always have my back.
Gabe, thank you. Coming up next on News 3 Now, Blaze returns with a complete look of your first run forecast. And the polls are in on how people feel about President Trump's performance through his first 100 days of his second term.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for staying with us. A group of public health experts is organizing a response to concerns about U.S. vaccine misinformation and access. The initiative is called the Vaccine Integrity Project. It will be funded by a foundation backed by Walmart heiress Christy Walton. The Vaccine Integrity Project will consider what's needed to safeguard vaccine policy and use in the U.S. This comes amid the concern the nation's health leadership is casting unfounded doubt on the safety of well-studied vaccines and may take action to curb their use. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has spread mixed messages about the measles vaccine amid a deadly outbreak. He also pledged to start a major autism study that experts fear will falsely tie the condition to vaccines. The results of a new CBS News poll are in, measuring the public's assessment of the president's job performance 100 days into his new term. The survey was conducted last week with a nationally representative sample of 2,356 adults who were interviewed. CBS News' Christian Benavides has the details.
100 days into office, President Trump is facing diminishing approval ratings, particularly when it comes to the economy. A new CBS News poll conducted with YouGov found 53% of those surveyed believe the economy is getting worse under President Trump, and 48% say they're faring worse financially under the president's economic policies. 69% of those polled say the president is concentrating too little on lowering prices, and 62% say he's focusing too much on tariffs. On Face the Nation Sunday morning, Gary Cohen, IBM vice chairman, weighed in on recession concerns.
So we're in this part of the economy where there's this lack of predictability, there's uncertainty, and the consumer's acting that way by sort of withdrawing from the market.
Overall, the CBS News poll found 45% of those surveyed approve of the overall job the president is doing, down from 53% in early February. In terms of immigration policies, 56% of those surveyed say they approve, but 81% of respondents say it's unacceptable if a U.S. citizen is mistakenly deported. This comes amidst reports a 2-year-old U.S. citizen was removed from the U.S. and sent to Honduras. In an order issued Friday, the judge in the case scheduled a hearing next month, saying he had a strong suspicion that the government just deported a U.S. citizen with no meaningful process. A spokesman for the Department of Homeland Security said the mother of the toddler, who had entered the U.S. illegally before the child was born, made the decision to take the child with her, despite pleas from her U.S.-based father to take the child. On Face the Nation Sunday, Tom Homan, a member of the Trump administration, defended the administration's actions.
Having a U.S. citizen child doesn't make you immune from our laws of the country.
The new poll numbers come a day after the president met privately at the Vatican with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky to discuss Ukraine's war with Russia. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
Tens of millions of new measles cases are predicted in the future if vaccination rates continue to decline in the U.S. That's according to a new study published Thursday in the journal JAMA. Researchers looked at the potential spread of the disease in the U.S. over the next couple of decades. Their model was based on different vaccination levels, calculated using data over 2 decades, from 2004 through 2023. The study found that at current vaccination rates, the disease could become endemic in the U.S. within 25 years, with up to 51 million new cases. Measles was considered eliminated in the U.S. in the year of 2000 due to vaccination efforts with the highly effective vaccine. Now let's get a look at your first warn forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, what should we expect as we head into the work week?
Well, we're going to continue to keep our eyes on the severe weather threat as we go Monday evening, overnight into Tuesday. We're still going to keep that alert day for both Monday and Tuesday, primarily, as I said, Monday evening into early Tuesday morning, because we're underneath a threat level 3 out of 5, an enhanced risk in the orange, and then in the red we find a moderate risk for severe weather. So that would be a 4 out of 5. As conditions are very good in the atmosphere for severe weather to potentially be widespread across parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, as well as Iowa. When looking at the tornado threat especially, we find what we call a hatched risk. And with a medium threat, these hatched lines, the black lines, indicate within this area, there's an even better chance for a stronger end tornado, EF2 or greater, as outlined by the Storm Prediction Center. Is that going to happen tomorrow is the question. We're really going to watch to see how Monday afternoon plays out. I think we're going to see clearing after some morning showers and thunderstorms, and that's going to get our atmosphere ready for that severe weather. And then we jump ahead to about the late afternoon, early evening. That's when storms could start to develop. And if they do start to develop, essentially, we're just going to be shaking the atmosphere. If you think of the atmosphere as a Coke can, we are shaking it throughout the entire afternoon. We've got tons of energy. We've got a lot of moisture. We've got all the makings for, as I said, widespread severe weather. And especially if we can get a discrete thunderstorm out ahead of a line of thunderstorms that will develop off to our west, they could very quickly use all of that energy and all of that moisture to become very strong, supercellular. So we're going to continue to shake this can as we go throughout your Monday afternoon and evening. And herein lies the question. After getting the atmospheric pressure as primed as it can be, we've been shaking this can all day, do we open up the soda can? Because if we do open up the soda can, we get the severe weather? Or do we keep the cap on it? And that's what this blue is showing here. These darker blues indicate a stronger lid on our can. So even if we shake this all day, if we don't open it up, that pressure just stays in the can and we have a warm and breezy Monday. But if we open it up, and I'm not going to because I don't want to ruin these TVs here, then we get the explosion, we get those strong thunderstorms. So essentially, what we have is higher confidence that we're going to have this cap stay on our can the entire day. If we do get 1 or 2 severe thunderstorms, it's not going to be widespread, but we could see all of those same risks. But if this cap breaks, and as I said, I'm not going to do it on air, then we get the threat for widespread large hail, strong winds, and tornadoes, and some of those could be strong. And the timing for both is going to be the same, starting at about 8 o'clock on Monday evening through about 5 a.m. on Tuesday. Jalen, do you want to open up this can or no? So tomorrow it is going to be warm regardless. It's going to be 70. We're going to keep that thunderstorm threat again. Plan as if we will open up this shaken can of Coke and we get that severe weather. And we will be very thankful if this just stays right there and it does not open.
Look, we've got, not the scripts, but the rundowns right here.
I don't think...
We just move the tablet.
No.
Should be good.
But, what we could do, and I'm not going to open it, but maybe we open it slowly. We get like the fizz. We kind of release some of that pressure. So weather is not an exact science. I hope that this kind of illustrated a little bit of what and why we are concerned. Because there's all this pressure over Wisconsin. Do we open it up or not?
Maybe if we had like a bottle, we could have
maybe.
And
one other thing, I did mention yesterday that there was some potential that the NOAA radios would be out. Mm-hmm. That is not the case. They are going to work tomorrow. So a viewer wrote in today asking for an update, and that is the update. National Weather Service Milwaukee says they will be good to go.
Absolutely. Thank you, Blazin. Be sure to download our First Warn weather app, so even if you're not tuning in, you can get the updates from Blazin Company as we head into tomorrow. All right, don't tempt me. Coming up in sports, Andrew joins the show to tell you about the problem the Green Bay Packers have created for themselves, but why it isn't a bad thing. Next on News 3 Now.
All day long, Milwaukee Bucks fans were anxious, hoping that their team could win their second straight and tie their playoff series with the Pacers at 2 games apiece. But in the first quarter, anxiety turned into fear of something far worse than a loss when Damian Lillard injured his leg and reportedly is feared to have torn his Achilles. But to make matters worse, the Bucks could not recover. With just a few minutes left in the fourth quarter of this one, the Pacers are well on their way to taking a 3-1 series lead. And the Brewers trying to avoid a sweep by the Birds, coming in having lost 4 straight in 5 of their last 6, but built an early lead today. Rhys Hoskins hits one through the right side, giving the Crew a 3-0 advantage in the first. And later, leading 5-0, and like he was trying to bundle his home and auto, Christian Yelich drives in a couple of insurance runs. The Crew get back in the win column with a 7-1 victory. To the golf links where Jerry Kelly won the Mitsubishi Electric Classic, shooting a tournament record 20 under on the weekend. He edged out Ernie Els by a stroke, propelled by a 10 under par course record in the opening round, breaking Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson's records. It's the Madison native's first Champions Tour win of the year. They say 2 is company and 3 is a crowd. In the Packers wide receiver room, well, it is more than crowded. Green Bay took a receiver with their first and third round selections, who joined Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, Christian Watson, and many more. Matt LaFleur says they didn't plan to add Matthew Golden as well as Savion Williams as their 2 receivers in the draft, but simply took the best players available. The byproduct is a problem he says is a good one to have.
Anytime you add competition to a room, that's a good thing for our football team. So it's going to be a competitive room. We all know that, and I think that's a positive. And our guys got to embrace that competition. And if they attack it the right way, I think collectively we'll continue to improve.
And another trio of Badgers are closer to their NFL dreams. The Arizona Cardinals signed wide receiver Bryson Green as an undrafted free agent. He caught 4 touchdowns in his 2 seasons at Wisconsin. And elsewhere, a pair of Badger linebackers got closer to their shot with a tougher road ahead. The Carolina Panthers invited Jaheim Thomas to their rookie minicamp, and the Cleveland Browns did the same with John Pius. Jalen, all told, 2 Badgers, Hunter Wooler and Jack Nelson, were drafted, and 3 signed as free agents. And of course, we will be following their NFL careers, or hopeful NFL careers, very, very closely. As for Damian Lillard, I mentioned it is feared to have been a torn Achilles. We don't know that for certain, but reportedly by the way he was talking to the training staff, the way he came off the floor, just the way he was talking in general, the reported fears are that he tore his left Achilles, which is worst case scenario, not just for the rest of this playoffs for the Bucks, but for the immediate future.
Yeah, absolutely. And typically when you have tears in the NBA, whether it's an ACL or an Achilles, it's unlike other sports. Like, you're out for the entire next season, barring simply a miracle. I mean, in the NFL, you see guys tear an ACL and they're back in 5 or 6 months. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but for the NBA, that's a year.
Yeah, especially that Achilles. That's a really, really difficult injury to recover from, and certainly we're wishing Dame all the best. We can also tell you it's reportedly not related to that DVT or the blood clot that he had in his calf, which is somewhat of good news for his long-term health, but for the Bucks and for his immediate future, certainly not good news about that reported Achilles tear that he may have suffered.
We'll be interested to see, how the Bucks proceed heading into this offseason.
Absolutely.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Andrew. A final check of your first one forecast is coming up when we return. An action sequel and a blast from the past went up against the reigning box office champ this weekend. Until Dawn, based on the video game, started out in 5th place with an $8 million domestic total. A Minecraft movie made $22.7 million at 4th place and a domestic total of $380. Ben Affleck and The Accountant 2 rang up $24.5 million for 3rd place debut, and my personal favorite, the 20th anniversary re-release of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, took home $25.2 million, landing in 2nd place. And finally, There's No Stopping Sinners. The action horror thriller stayed on top in its sophomore weekend, scoring another $45 million, just a 6% drop from its impressive debut. Now, the first 3 I have not seen, but I've seen Revenge of the Sith countless times. Can't believe that it's the 20-year anniversary. Feel as if I'm aging myself a little bit. I saw it in theaters, and I saw Sinners. So some good ones to check out this weekend for sure.
I want to stream a movie tonight. I don't know what. It's clearly not going to be any of those 5 because they're only in theaters, but we'll talk after the show. Maybe you guys can give me a suggestion.
Absolutely. And there may be some more people watching movies as they stay inside tomorrow. What should they expect?
Yes, we are anticipating a warm and breezy Monday, but we could see some severe weather in the morning. Some small hail may be possible, but then the greater threat is going to be Monday evening into early Tuesday. Of course, all of us here will keep you updated throughout Monday.
All right, sounds good.